When you're looking to tag your content, such as your YouTube videos, you always want to ask yourself what the keyword research is indicating as far as what it is that people are actually searching for. Even if your title of your video and if the overall vibe of the video itself may not be exactly on point with an exact match to a keyword or keyword phrase or long tail keyword phrase that receives searches each month, if it's very relevant, then you're still going to probably want to incorporate some element of that keyword phrase, or long tail keyword phrase into the video itself, and this includes the tags. For example, if I were looking to create a video on how to get more views on YouTube, and I go over to the Google AdWords Keyword Planner, available at adwords.google.com/keyword planner, I'm going to want to look to see how many searches various keywords, keyword phrases, and long tail keyword phrases receive each month on the Google search network that is going to be relevant, if not an exact match, for a title of a video that I have in mind. This also helps me to form a better title and video description, and of course tags on the YouTube video itself. For example, in this particular list of keywords that I entered myself manually, the most searches received from the list is for the long tail keyword phrase, how to get more views on YouTube, with an average monthly search volume of about 2,900 searches per month. As we can see, there are other related searches that receive searches as well, or search volume each month, but they don't have nearly as many searches each month. Now, that's not inherently a bad thing. It's very possible that, for example, you could potentially create content that's optimized around get more views YouTube. And even though that only receives 20 searches per month on the average, according to the current data available in the Google AdWords Keyword Planner, the search engine competition for that long tail keyword phrase may be very low. And so you might be able to get 10 or 15 or 18 of those searches every month because the competition isn't very strong or may not really be present. That's not too likely in this case, but it's always a possibility. And this is also an example of why when you're doing keyword research, you never just simply decide, you know what, I'm going to create a video on how to get more YouTube views. That's my title, and that's just the way it's going to be, without even looking at keyword research data, or rather search volume data, with a tool such as the Google AdWords Keyword Planner. This also doesn't mean that it's going to be the most catchy or compelling title that your content can have. It may not have the highest click-through rate and so forth, but when it comes down to the SEO elements, and that does include a title, it's often a very good idea to just conduct some keyword research using tools such as the Google AdWords Keyword Planner to see if anybody is actually searching for those keywords, keyword phrases, or long tail keyword phrases. So in this case, with the long tail keyword phrase, how to get more views on YouTube, a couple simple things that I like to do is just to simply type that long tail keyword phrase into search engines and see what the top ranking content currently is. So for example, when I go to google.com and search for how to get more views on YouTube, the number one search result is a page on adweek.com. The second goes to a page on wikihow.com. The third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth results, here shown on screen currently, are all YouTube videos, which I really like to see, because if I'm looking to create a YouTube video, especially on something like how to get more views on YouTube, I really like to see that in the organic search results on a search engine such as Google, those YouTube videos are coming up. Now, it's also noteworthy that YouTube itself is a search engine provider, or a search provider, and in fact, I believe it's the second largest search provider currently, second only to Google itself. Conducting this type of search, you're looking to get just kind of a general idea of who your competitors are. In this case, most of our competitors are other content creators on YouTube, so that's not such a bad thing. If this were filled with very high page rank or very high page authority sites, and there were one or no YouTube videos showing up on the first page of the search engine's result page, or SERP, I would be less enthusiastic about the organic organic search traffic that I might expect from my YouTube video. But that's not necessarily a hard and fast rule, and you shouldn't allow that to dictate to you whether or not you're going to create a video. Although you always want to keep in mind that there are other variations of your keyword, keyword phrase, or long tail keyword phrase, which is going to have different monthly search volume and different competition. Interestingly enough, if we take a look at the first, second, and third YouTube video that shows up in the search engine result page, take a note of the titles and the thumbnail graphics, because next we're going to go ahead and take a look at youtube.com and see what comes up when we search for how to get more views on YouTube. As you can see here, the top ranking YouTube videos on YouTube itself, when I search for how to get more views on YouTube, are a little bit different. Now, the first two are of course just ads. So these are not organic rankings. Ads are things that people pay to actually receive those rankings for, and we're not really talking about paid traffic right now. So we're just going to go ahead and remove these for now. So when we're looking to see what sort of tags we might want to use, there are of course keyword tools such as Google AdWords Keyword Planner, available at adwords.google.com/keyword planner, which is this tool that you've seen previously in this video. However, you also want to take a look at the videos themselves, because you can actually read the description of the video, the title of the video, and even look to see what tags they have used on that video itself. Let's take a look. First, let's take a look at the video by Daryl Eves here at the top, how to get more views on YouTube. So first of all, notice that the title is an exact match for the long tail keyword phrase that receives the most searches per month based on the list that I have entered into the Google AdWords Keyword Planner. How to get more views on YouTube receives about 2,900 searches per month. And again, we see that here, how to get more views on YouTube, average monthly searches, 2,900. So the next thing to just take into consideration, and it's really more for just keyword ideas, and also just to be mindful of what's in a person's description, because your description itself is also important, but right now we're really talking about tagging your video. That said, let's go ahead and show more and see what Daryl has included in their description. So we can see here, it appears to be basically a transcript of the video, which isn't such a bad way to go, because typically you're going to be talking about things that are relevant to the title. Otherwise, it wouldn't really make much sense to create the video in the first place. In this case, we can actually see that he's included time codes, and these time codes allow a person to click on that link and jump to that time code in the video, saving them time if they're in fact interested in a particular key point that's mentioned in the video. Okay, now on to actually seeing the tags that they use in this video. Shown on screen is Google Chrome running on Windows 7. And in this web browser, if I simply right click on a blank area of the page, it'll open a context sensitive menu. On this menu, we want to choose View Page Source. When you're viewing the page source, if you simply search on page or find on page looking for keyword, usually the first result you'll come to is a line that looks like this, where it reads metaname equals keywords, content equals, and then it'll start to list the tags that were used in the video. But a lot of times it won't be the complete list. It'll usually be truncated as indicated by the ... on the end of this list. However, if you continue searching down in the source content, you can usually find another list which will not be truncated, and you'll therefore get the complete list of tags that they've used. As we can see here, in this instance, the very next result 2 of 7, we see another instance of keywords, and we'll see what is now a much longer list, which does not end in ... It's not truncated, and this is the complete list of tags that is used in this video. The purpose of checking these lists of tags is so that you can get more ideas for what keywords, keyword phrases, and long tail keyword phrases you might want to use to create tags for your YouTube video, or even things that you might want to use within your video description itself, or possibly even within the title. Some basic things to take into consideration are, at least for the keywords, keyword phrases, and long tail keyword phrases that appear in the list of tags that another ranking video on YouTube is using that differ from the keywords that you've already checked search volume for and have in your list of keywords of potentially useful things to use as tags or as mentions in your video description or even in the use of your video title. You want to then come back to your keyword tool, such as Google AdWords Keyword Planner, and you want to check to see what kind of search volume those keywords get. So in other words, if we come to the complete list of tags that you got out of the source content, or when you select view source from the YouTube video and you find the list of keywords, just go ahead and copy those. And I would start off by pasting them into just a very simple plain text editor such as Notepad. And from there, you can just pick and choose different keywords, keyword phrases, and long tail keyword phrases that you don't already have in your keyword tool that you already are pulling monthly search volume data for, and just check to see if that is in fact receiving search volume itself. So just as a quick example, if I click on modify search within the Google AdWords Keyword Planner, I'm going to just go ahead and add increase views, the keyword phrase increase views, and I'm going to click get search volume, and we can see here that the keyword phrase increase views gets about 10 average searches per month on the Google search network. Another consideration when you're looking at the tags for somebody's video, which ranks very well, whether that's a very high ranking on the search page of the search engine's result page, such as at google.com, or whether on another search provider such as youtube.com, which is quite relevant here because we're talking about tagging YouTube videos primarily, it becomes increasingly important to want to be at least fairly similar to that content. And the reason for that is because when you're on YouTube and you watch a video, oftentimes you're going to see suggested videos. For example, here we have up next in autoplay, how to grow with 0 views and 0 subscribers. Now, this is another video by the same content provider. And then you also have other related or suggested videos in the list, how to get paid by YouTube, get YouTube subscribers, 5 ways how to get 300,000 YouTube subscriptions. This is by David Walsh. How to get 1 million YouTube views by cheating, and some other things that YouTube believes that would likely be of interest to you based on what you're currently watching, things that are similar to it. And they get that idea based on the tags, the title, the description, and of course how well your video actually performs. So when people actually land on your video, because say you create a video on how to get more views on YouTube, and when somebody searches for that, whether on Google or YouTube or some other search platform, and they come across your video and then they watch it, or maybe it does appear on the suggested list, but one way or another, when they click through to it, if they tend to watch a lot of the video, and by that I mean, if you have a 4 or 5 minute video and you're able to get people to watch, 2, 3, 4 minutes of it, that's awesome. There's also some reasoning that you might not want to create videos that are much less than 5 minutes in length, but that gets into another subject that we'll talk about at another time. The big important thing, though, is that increasing time spent on site, time spent on page, time spent watching videos, anything that you can do to encourage somebody to watch other videos of yours, these things tend to increase the number of views that you're going to get. And it's not just because of the immediately obvious things like, oh, well, people must like your videos, so they watch more of them when they come across them. What I mean by this is that YouTube is going to, and other search providers, anytime that they find that the content that they're recommending to people and people click through to, if the statistics for that content are very favorable, then the search providers are going to say, you know what, this is a really good thing to suggest to people. It's performing really well. And that is in the search provider's best interest because they want to provide content that people seem to really like, because that's going to make people want to continue to use them. And that is of value to the search provider. But that's a really long tangent. Getting back to tagging, when you are using tags that are very similar, or if not the same as the tags of a video that is ranking very well, it's going to give your video much more of a chance of being recommended by YouTube YouTube in this instance, as a similar video that a person might end up clicking on. And when they click on it, if your video does well, as previously discussed, then it's going to have a better tendency or a better chance of staying on that recommended list, maybe even climbing the ladder, and you're going to end up typically getting more and more views. So by finding tags in ranking content that is very relevant to the subject of the video itself, which receives a pretty good amount of average search volume, again, as one example in something like the Google AdWords Keyword Planner, then those are going to be keywords that you're going to really want to use as tags in your video. Sometimes there will also be keywords that appear in a person's video which aren't necessarily things that people are actually searching for. So for example, they might use their channel name or their real name or their YouTube username. And that's something, by the way, that I suggest to do in general. I haven't done it here in this video, but generally I will add tags such as True Blue Market View, TBMV, and my name, because if people are looking for any of those things at some point, it helps increase the odds that they're going to find the content because it's included in the tags. It also has the effect of helping your videos to come up in the suggested list off to the right-hand side when people are watching your videos. So that's one of the ways that you can help increase more video views from people. So in other words, if Jane Smith lands on your video, let's say this video was your video, you know, the how to get more views on YouTube video, and they like your video and they notice off on the right hand side that, hey, you know what, there's another video by you that that I might be interested in based on the title of the video and based on the fact that I like the video that I just saw of yours. So now I'm going to click through to it and see what you have to say on this subject. And again, that's a really good thing, not just for getting another view on another video, but it has a compounded effect. It has an aggregate effect on the performance of your channel and the performance of your videos. So going back to the Google AdWords Keyword Planner, you want to check to see what you think is going to be very relevant to your video. You're going to want to look for keywords, keyword phrases, and long tail keyword phrases that actually receive searches each month. Now, there's always going to be different opinions and different tips and different approaches for which ones that you choose. Certainly from an SEO standpoint, one of the big factors is what kind of competition are there for those various keywords and keyword phrases. In other words, the other content that other people have created, you know, how strongly does it appear that they're going to be ranking? Not just are they number 1 or number 2 or number 5, but what does it appear as far as how difficult might it be for you to replace them in that position? Although that gets much, much, much more into SEO at that point. And really, in the specific case of YouTube, it's a good idea to spend at least a little bit of time on some keyword research. Say, once you have a basic idea of how to do it, you want to probably spend a good 10, 15 minutes, maybe even as much as an hour, depending on how thorough you want to be. But at some point, you really want to just, you know, throw in the towel, because you can definitely spend a lot of time evaluating the online competitors and looking at very extensive lists of keywords. However, I don't suggest to the average person to do that because it's going to take way too much time and it's probably not going to be very practical for you. That said, a lot of the competitors on YouTube, a lot of the content creators either don't know much about SEO or how to utilize tags, and you're going to see that when you look at people's tags a lot of times, now that you know how, just by viewing the source on the YouTube page and then just searching for a list of keywords is really all you got to do. You can see their tags, and oftentimes when you look in a keyword tool, you'll see that a lot of the keywords or keyword phrases either don't get searches or don't get very many searches. That's not always going to be the case, but you're going to be surprised if you start looking around at a lot of different videos at just how bad of a use of tags a lot of people actually employ. There really are. That's also true though, there's just a very staggering amount of content on YouTube. So unless you're doing something that's very unique, in which case, at least initially, I can't imagine a lot of people are going to be searching for it. And even if you try to leverage other avenues that are related, in other words, if you target keywords or keyword phrases which are already in existence, so to speak, because people are already searching for it, even if it's not a lot of searches, say 50 or 100 or 1,000 searches a month, you might think about targeting things that are related rather than some new coined phrase that you just came up with and nobody really knows your brand or product or service yet. So therefore nobody can really be searching for it yet. So maybe you decide to target a different keyword or keyword phrase. The problem with really getting crazy with SEO in your tags and your descriptions on YouTube is there's something like 72 hours or more of content that's uploaded to YouTube, either every minute or every hour. I forget the stat offhand, but it really is something of that nature. If you can probably find it just by doing a simple Google search. So there's going to be a huge amount of competition. Now there's a good chunk of that competition that from an SEO standpoint, from their tags and their description and their title, may not really be doing a very good job, but just the sheer volume of competitors and the fact that there's going to be a chunk of those videos that get views because of self-promotion, forum marketing and social media marketing and other things, that you're not always going to want to really try to depend upon the SEO elements of your videos. Now, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't know a little bit about keyword research and utilize keyword research and make good use of your tags. I'm just saying, cut your losses. Spend 30 minutes, an hour, probably tops on average, doing keyword research, just so that you can have some sort of intelligent list of tags and then just move on. Now, having said all of this, let's take a look at an example of a list of tags that I might use if I wanted to rank for a video which had the title of how to get more views on YouTube. So just based on just a little bit of keyword research using the Google AdWords keyword tool and taking a look at really just one ranking video from a pretty popular channel and just taking a look at the keywords that they're using in their tags, I would probably begin with a tag list shown here in Notepad. And let's talk about why this is the list that I would probably choose to go with. To begin with, you want to include what you feel is going to be the most relevant and the most powerful and the most highly searched for keywords, keyword phrases, and long tail keyword phrases at the beginning of your list. So as we can see from the Google AdWords Keyword Planner, YouTube receives by far more average monthly searches than anything else in our list. Now, it's a very broad topic. We're really specifically looking for something more along the lines of how to get more views on YouTube. And that particular long tail keyword phrase receives about 2,900 searches per month. So I'm going to go ahead and use YouTube as the first tag and the long tail keyword phrase, how to get more views on YouTube, as my second tag. The reason for the sort of random jumble of other keywords is pretty simple. I don't want to be really spammy. Now, by that, I mean, if there are a lot of different variations for how to get or how to increase or YouTube views or, something like that, you don't want to have, 6 or 8 or 10 or 15 iterations that are all using a common phrase as part of the long tail phrase. So in other words, how to get or how to get more. You don't want that to appear, half a dozen times or more in your list of tags, because you start to run the risk of that becoming over-optimized and spammy and maybe not really having the effect that you desire. Another reason is because YouTube can use your list of tags and even information from your title and from your video description, and it can basically put together its own list of keywords or suggested keyword phrases and based on what you're providing it. So there are a number of things that would be relevant that might use the word online or increase or marketing or how to or views, training, tutorials, and so forth that would be relevant potentially to a video that talks about how to get more views on YouTube. And rather than trying to make this list of tags that's 30 or 50 or 100 keywords long, first of all, at some point you're not going to be able to enter more tags. I don't know offhand what the limit is, but the other reason is that you don't want to come across super spammy, as I pointed out. Now, it's okay if you want to reuse a keyword or a keyword phrase, a few times in your list of tags. It's not strictly necessary because, as I mentioned earlier, you're not usually going to get a huge amount of views just because you created this masterful list of tags. So don't stress too much about it. Just have some idea what keywords, keyword phrases phrases and long tail keyword phrases are getting searches each month, what keywords are being used by ranking content, and just kind of go from there. Just kind of make an educated guess as to what you think might make the most sense and might give your video an increased chance of being viewed based on the SEO elements, and build a list of tags from that. And remember, you can always use the suggest feature at google.com or youtube.com or another search provider. And that's especially true if you've already entered a number of searches relevant to what it is that you're actually currently trying to research. Because I've been looking for things that are relevant to YouTube and getting views on YouTube, we immediately see that as soon as I type how, I get suggestions to get more views on YouTube, to get more subscribers, to promote YouTube videos. And if I continue to type, I will get different suggestions. So you can see here, as I type how to get more views on you, it completes it with things like YouTube, YouTube Fast, YouTube for free, YouTube Hack, YouTube Gaming, Cheat, For Free Hack, Blog, YouTube 2015, and so forth. You can start to incorporate things that you find on this list of suggestions into a keyword tool, such as the Google AdWords Keyword Planner, and see what kind of search volume it receives. And then you can even go ahead and look at a search provider like google.com and see what comes up when you actually enter that particular keyword phrase, or long tail keyword phrase into the search box. Do the same on YouTube. Check to see what tags that video might be using, and you can just rinse and repeat. You can just do this for dozens and dozens of keywords and come up with a master list of tags if that's what you really want to do. But as I mentioned, once you get the hang of it, you can probably come up with a pretty good list of tags within something like 10 or 15 minutes. And I don't generally recommend that you spend more than an hour, because you're not likely to get tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of views just because you created this awesome list of tags. SEO is important, it helps, but it's not going to make or break your business with the case of your tags on your YouTube videos. And that about wraps up this video. Hopefully this has made some sense to you and has helped you out. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.